Can I have your attention, please? I want to thank all of you folks for coming here and wasting your time. Now, when I come riding out here, sitting in the back seat of that old Ford, you know, I was thinking about years ago when we used to have those old Chevrolets in the back seat. You know, at that time, I never heard of anybody having a headache. You know, back seat. But after 50 years, I have heard a lot of headaches. Well, coming down now to the serious part of life. You know, you don't pick your partner. You got to have help from above to pick your partner. It might take 5 years of prayer, thanksgivings, and fantasizing. You might fantasize that you want a certain type of a person. Somebody come from some part of the country or somewhere like this. Now, I just want to tell you how those prayers and fantasies were answered in my case. I was always, see, at that time, there was wagons and teams of horses and bundle teams out in the Dakotas and Montana. That was a big thing in the fall and the summertime. They'd go out there, the young people would go out there and harvest. They would go out and pitch bundles, shock grain, pitch into the separators. And then in the middle of the forenoon, out come a wagon. Usually it was a fine-looking little girl coming out with a lunch wagon to give fun. Well, that was fine. At noon, another lunch wagon come out with probably the same crew. Well, it got into my blood that someday I'm going to have a Western cowgirl. And what happened? Here, what happened is I happened to drive a school bus. And the first year I drove the school bus, here happened to be a girl from Scobie, Montana. What do you know? Then I was supposed to find her, you know. In other words, the Lord said, you got her here, now find her. Then I remember forgetting my keys to the school, and I had to go back down and get the keys. And bring the keys down. Well, he said, why don't you stop in to this certain place, and that girl will be there. That's the cowgirl from Montana. And so I went there. Oh, I was shaking. My knees were shaking. And I stopped by the place, and lo and behold, but I managed to get up to the door. And what happened, her sister come to the door, and I knew her, see, and she knew me and called me by name. Well, then I braced up a little bit. I looked in the door, and there was Gladys in a dish pan. I stuttered and everything else, and I said, I'd like to know if Gladys would want to go with me down to Willow River to deliver those keys, you know. And Dorothy said, what's her sister's name? She says, sure, I'll do the dishes. The first time in life that she did that. And then Gladys asked her mother, can I go? Or asked her mother, oh, sure you can go. You know, well, I felt pretty good because I didn't know anybody. I tell you, I was in such a fog that you don't know. Well, anyway, Dorothy did the dishes. Gladys went. Then I asked her mother, I said, I suppose you'll have to come home pretty early or something. Because she was only 16 years old or 17, whatever it was. Oh, no, we're not worried about that or something like that. So we went to Willow River. Well, you know, it's only 5 miles away. But it did take about 2 hours to make that trip. Well, that's how we started our life. And then we started dating, and towards Christmas, was invited to her place for a Christmas party. And then after Christmas, we started going steady for about 2.5 years. before we decided that we should get married. We got married. It's been 50 years that we have been depending on the Lord to take care of us. There have been some rough times.